High winds and blowing snow are slamming many parts of the valley this Tuesday morning. In the valley today's JC Dodd is out in the elements this morning, reporting on those rough weather conditions. Good morning, JC.
Jordan, it is tough out here, and I want to say we've been out for about 2 hours, and the wind has been relentless this morning. You can see as it just gusts straight into me, and it is making travel extremely dangerous and tough. Visibility is very low. I traveled north on I-29. I took the Harwood exit. I'm here on a frontage road. I've been watching I-29, and it is almost impossible to see super far in the distance because of visibility and how much of this blowing snow is coming from all of this wind. Now I want to show you just how strong these winds are. When it gusts, it's hard to open the car door. Now right now it seems like we're getting a break, which I'm thankful for, and I can shield my face because it absolutely hurts. But watch as it closes. That's the kind of wind you're facing if you head out the door. It's going to slam, and it is pummeling the valley. So if you're heading out today, make sure you're being careful. 2 hands on the wheel. We were white knuckling it. We took it about 40 miles an hour on I-29 northbound this morning, Jordan, just because of the tough travel conditions.
And those conditions have just gotten worse as the morning goes on. JC Dodd reporting live north of the metro. Thank you. And things are changing quickly for some school districts in the valley this morning because of that weather. More than 50 districts have piled on with those weather-related announcements. Most of them are 2-hour delays, but Grand Forks Public Schools closed altogether. DGF and Moorhead are doing e-learning days. Barnes County, North, Manville, and Maple Valley are also doing the e-learning days as well. And among the 2-hour delays this morning, Dilworth, Glendon, Felton, Barnesville, UND, and Mayville State, also Crookston and Devils Lake. The list is a long one this Tuesday morning. We are crawling the delays on air, but you can also check them out online. And we want to get a check of that forecast right now with meteorologist Lisa Green as she lets us know what many of those people are up against when they head out the doors.
Good morning on this first alert weather day. It's going to be rough just about everywhere now as that wind spreads eastward. It's getting tougher and tougher in some of our eastern viewing area too. This is our view in Fargo. Some shaky conditions on our camera right now in the FM area on our Luther Family Ford Skycam, and we've continued to watch this camera shake all morning long. You can see in town visibility is looking okay. It's once you get out of town when things really get tough. Here's a look at Highway 59 near Thief River Falls. You can see we've got blowing snow, some falling snow in the vicinity as well. That's going to compound our issues with visibility in some of these areas where that snow is falling. And these are some places where the wind has been picking up. Here's a look. We've got some wind speeds now, or gusts rather, into the 30s into Minnesota. Roseau, Thief River, Detroit Lakes, back down to Wadena. A lot of reports here above 30 miles per hour. Not as intense as what's happening out west, but it is enough to lower our visibility. Starting to see that wind turn northwesterly as that colder air moves in here. In eastern North Dakota, we have that gust to 51 in Jamestown. Fargo right now, a gust to 41 miles per hour. And zooming in a little bit more on southeastern parts of the state, you can see that this is kind of the focus right now for some of our strongest gusts. We've got a near 60 mile per hour gust in Cooperstown at 59. Check out our sustained wind. JC was talking about how it's relentless, and that is what we're looking at. Relentless winds of 40+ miles per hour, and then you get these gusts that pick up from there and just makes it brutal out there for anybody who's out around that Cooperstown, Carrington, back down to Valley City area where they've been reporting blizzard conditions here this morning. So this will continue, and it will continue to spread eastward. You can see our visibility map looking low for visibility everywhere now. We've got places below a mile in Park Rapids and Fergus Falls and up to Thief River Falls. Crookston at a 1/4 mile visibility. Hallock is at 0. We've been struggling in Grand Forks. We've had some snow there this morning, and that's getting blown around at a 1/4 mile. Wahpeton, 0 visibility in town. And in Valley City, we're at a 1/2 mile. So eastern North Dakota all seeing some lowered visibility across many parts of the state. Now that snow that I was talking about starting to spread eastward. You can see at Thief River Falls, it's starting to move in along that Highway 75 corridor back down toward Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, south of Crookston, seeing a heavier band of snow moving through that stretches back over to Mahnomen. Fargo, we may see a couple of flakes, but right now it doesn't look too promising for additional snowfall. This is all part of that scattered kind of extension of snow from that larger area north of us. And this system, this huge system, is going to continue to make its way eastward. We've got that counterclockwise movement of air around it. So we're getting that northwesterly wind picking up and rushing in and colder temperatures taking over. Here's a look at our numbers. 13 degrees right now in Fargo, 11 in Grand Forks. We're already in the single digits as our temperatures drop in Devil's Lake and Langdon. Wind chills have been sliding below 0. We're at 16 below for your wind chill in Devil's Lake and Jamestown. It feels like 8 below in Fargo. So bundle up if you must head outside today, but hopefully you can just stay home, stay warm, and stay safe with these winds that we're still expecting. Over the next couple of hours, we'll continue in Fargo to see gusts potentially into the 50s, maybe even up to 60 miles per hour if we get a stronger gust. As the day progresses, the winds will come down a bit, but we'll still be in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range into the afternoon. And that will lead to the potential for more ground blizzard conditions, especially in open country, even into the early afternoon hours today. So be safe out there and stay warm as well if you need to step outside.
Yeah, so much to go over this morning. Lisa, thank you. And I do want to clarify, Barnes County North, Manville, and Maple Valley are fully closed today. I misspoke earlier when talking about those, but we want to get a check of those road conditions that you're facing right now this morning. And boy, have things gotten worse since we have came on the air this morning. No travel advised for much of North Dakota. That is the red. I'm going to outline it here. This is the Montana border all the way across Canada here down the Red River Valley, including Cass County now on over below Cass, Stutzman, jutting up around Jamestown, and then going around for the northern part of the state past Minot and Williston. All of this red shaded area right here. No travel advised. That is much of North Dakota that we are talking about. And then just below it, in 2 counties, we're talking a travel alert. Now, this has been getting worse as the morning's going on. We have an incident right now reported along the interstate. We are talking on I-94 at the Wheatland exit. There is a crash this morning. Now, again, no travel advised there. Up by Devil's Lake, we're also talking about a crash that's been reported this morning. That one is 2.6 miles east of Junction, North Dakota 30. Now, expect delays there. There's a crash as well. Minnesota, they came out with a no travel advisory for much of northwestern Minnesota. That is the purple lines that you're seeing right here. Now, a lot of that area, we are talking from Pembina down along the Red River, south of Halstead and Ada, back up around Crookston, Thief River Falls to Lancaster, over to the Canadian border. Everything here in this red shaded area, no travel advised there either. It's pretty nasty conditions. And this morning I was looking at information from Sergeant Jesse Grabo with the Minnesota State Patrol right around Barnesville. There was a car that couldn't see what it was doing, went across both lanes of traffic and then into the opposite ditch. You got to be careful when you're out there this morning. Taking a look at I-94 in Minnesota, partially covered, Highway 10 partially to fully covered, dependable where you are. Make sure you stay with us right here as we keep you updated. And also a check of the airport. If you're trying to fly out of town this morning or picking someone up, 7 of the first 8 flights out of Fargo are canceled or delayed. So far, one morning flight, out of Grand Forks has been delayed. Pfizer could ask the FDA for the go-ahead on COVID vaccines for children ages 6 months to 4 years old as early as today. AP sources say the shots could then start going out at the end of this month. Early data from the drug maker has shown 2 doses given at 1/10 the strength of the adult shot are safe and produce an immune response. But last year, Pfizer announced 2 doses were less effective at preventing COVID-19 in children ages 2 to 5. The company is now testing a 3rd dose, and that application could come by March. Police in Dilworth, Minnesota want your help finding a suspected car prowler. Take a look at your screen right now. They posted this Ring doorbell video showing a guy walking up to 2 vehicles, pulling on the handles and then walking away. Contact Dilworth PD if you have any information about him. A man who led police on a chase through Fargo and Moorhead is now facing numerous charges after police say he stole a car in Fargo and then crashed it across the river. That crash happened yesterday afternoon at 8th and Main in Moorhead. 43-year-old Corey Youngbear of Grand Forks was taken to the hospital. At last check this morning, he had not yet been booked in jail. Police say the chase started in Fargo. Then a Moorhead officer spotted the car, but the driver wouldn't pull over. They say he ran over 3 tire deflation devices, but just kept going until eventually smashing into another car at that intersection. The other driver was not hurt. Youngbear is now facing charges of possession of a stolen vehicle, reckless driving, DWI, open container, fleeing, and various traffic violations. His injuries are not considered serious. 2 men are seriously hurt after a small plane went down west of the Twin Cities. The McLeod County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened at about 1 yesterday afternoon near Hutchinson. The plane's passengers were pulled from that downed aircraft and then flown to a Twin Cities hospital. No word on their condition this morning or the cause of that crash. Defense attorneys at the trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged with violating George Floyd's civil rights are raising questions about the department's training and a culture that they say teaches new officers not to question their superiors. Prosecutors say Thomas Lane, J. Alexander King, and Toe Tao deprived Floyd of his rights when they failed to give him medical aid as Officer Derek Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck. Attorneys for the former officers say the officers' training was inadequate, including in how to respond to someone in an agitated state. Prosecutors say the former Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police officer who was convicted of killing Dante Wright should face a sentence above the state's guidelines. But defense attorneys say Kim Potter should get a lower sentence or even just probation. She's the former officer who says she confused her gun for her taser when she shot and killed Wright last April. Potter's sentencing is set for February 18th. We are now hearing more from a woman who claims the mayor of Jamestown groped her at a bar Saturday night. The woman tells Valley News Live that Dwayne Heinrich shoved her in the chest twice while trying to give her a business card. When she wouldn't take it, she claims he tried to put the card in her front coat pocket and then touched her breast. But Heinrich says that is not what happened.
This person was not interested in any type of legitimate conversation, but rather was trying to create a scene. At that point, I said, "This conversation is over. Here is my card. Call me when you are sober."
The North Dakota BCI is investigating the accusations. No charges have yet been filed. Firefighters threw on rescue ropes and headed out to the ice to rescue a dog who got in over his head in Colorado. Take a look. This happened out in the water where the golden retriever Watson took off running after he saw some geese and then ended up busting through that ice. A firefighter walked out and slipped into the water to then hoist that frozen dog back up onto more solid ice. You see the dog struggling to get up right now. Rescuers say the owner did do the right thing by calling for help instead of going out on the ice and trying to rescue that dog by himself. And you see that dog walked away safely. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up on the Fargo CW as we track that blizzard hitting the region. Stay safe today.